The word eclipse comes from a Greek word meaning abandonment. Many civilizations try to reason out the eclipses. Let us go into a few civilizations and their reasoning around solar and lunar eclipses. Let us start with Korea. Long time back, heavenly kingdoms were dark. One of those dark kingdoms is Gamannara. The king of Gamannara was concerned with the darkness. He wanted the light from the sun and the moon. He sent one of the gigantic fairy hounds of type Bulge. Bulge refers to the mythical fire dogs. The dog tried to bite the sun. The sun was too hot, which made the dog not able to hold on to it anymore. This Bulge dog ran back to the king. The king was angry. He sent another fairy dog to steal the moon. When this Bulgari dog tried to bite the moon was so cold which led the dog to drop the moon out of its mouth and went back to the king. The king never gave up and continuously sent Bulgari dogs one after the other with continuous failed attempts. Let us go to China. In ancient China, solar and lunar eclipses occur when the celestial dragons eat them. Dragons eat on the sun to cause solar eclipse. The same dragons eat on the moon to cause a lunar eclipse. It was a tradition in ancient China to bang the drums and pots. This is to make loud noise during the eclipse to frighten the dragon away. In the Chinese language, the term for eclipse was Shi, which also means to eat. Let us go into Australian Aboriginal folk stories. They believed the sun as a female and moon as a male. The sun woman lights a small fire each morning. She carries it from the east to the west, thereby creating daylight. She then puts the torch off and travels in a tunnel to get back to the east. The moon man was once young and slim. He grew fat and lazy. His wives chopped bits of him with their axes, thereby creating a waxing moon. Moon man finally dies from the wounds. However, rises again from death and repeats the cycle. The solar eclipse is explained as the sun woman being hidden by the moon man as he makes love to her. Definitely a romantic take. Let us go into pre-Columbian America. According to the Inca tribe, the lunar eclipse was seen as an attack on the moon by a jaguar. If it was not stopped, they believed that jaguar would come to the earth and unleash its wrath. The only way to stop this was to create a lot of noise and make their dogs howl and bark to drive away the lunar eclipse. They succeeded in every single attempt. Let us go into West Africa, especially the region around Togo and Benin. According to them, human anger and fighting spread to the sun and the moon. With this spread, the sun and the moon started fighting and caused the eclipse. The legendary First Mothers urged the villagers to stop the anger and demonstrate peace. As a result of the demonstration of peace, the sun and moon were back to their duties. In ancient India and Hindu mythology, Devas, also known as the gods, and Asuras, also known as demons, churned the ocean of milk to extract the elixir. Elixir is also known as Amrut. Once the elixir was available, Mohini, the avatar of Vishnu, started distributing the elixir. One of the Asuras, Swarabhanu, sat in the row of Devas and drank the milk. Surya, the sun, and Chandra, the moon, noticed this and informed Mohini. Lord Vishnu, as Mohini, cut off the Swarabhanu's head with Sudarshan Chakra. Swarabhanu could not die as he already drank the elixir. However, his body is chopped. The head is considered as Rahu, while his body is known as Ketu. Rahu swore revenge against the sun and the moon. From time to time, Rahu tries to eat the sun and the moon. As he has no hands, the eclipse incidents do not last long. Now the scientific reasoning. A solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the earth and the sun. In a total eclipse, the disk of the sun is fully obscured by the moon. In a partial eclipse, only part of the sun is obscured. A lunar eclipse occurs when the moon moves into the earth's shadow. This can occur only when the sun, earth and moon are closely aligned with the earth in between the moon and the sun. It is clear that humans from different civilizations try to explain what an eclipse is. Each civilization has a story on their own. Perhaps there were people who firmly believed in the reason for the eclipse around that time. Whose belief would be right if they were to argue in the same room? The color and the shades of the moon vary during the lunar eclipse. Sometimes it can be red, orange or gold. The red color certainly would cause more fear as it resembles the blood color. Similarly, the sun not being visible would certainly cause fear. So, is there an element of fear while trying to reason out an eclipse? Is this fear the source for considering eclipses as bad omen? Now let us move into beliefs. There was an explanation about the eclipse. Later some other explanation comes that could possibly negate the previous one. Is it not that beliefs depend on time? Let us say we stick to beliefs or have an attitude to move to some other belief. Why do we need beliefs to begin with? Are beliefs helpful to some extent and do not help beyond a certain point? I will leave you with these questions. Whatever you think, please write in the comments. I am more than happy to revert back with responses.